Ah, hello. We're back in my garage with a very special car today. Behind me is a 2004 Rio yellow S2000 that my friend picked up a month ago. He was very excited to have the car and he wanted me to take care of it, so I'm going to take care of it. I told him to drive it around for about a month to really get used to the car and drive it before wanting to make it look beautiful. So he did that. It's been about a month, and today we're going to be tackling as much as we can. This is going to be a few day long jobs. So on the first day, what I did is I lifted it up on the quick jack, took all the wheels off, gave them a really good decontamination, ceramic coated all of them, and mounted them back on. The reason why I did this first is because I wanted to let it cure, and then while I work on the rest of the car, they will be fully cured by the time it's ready to go. So what does this car need? This car really does need a lot of TLC. The interior needs some help, the engine bay needs some love, and all over the paint there is a haze. Just because the previous owner, while he did take care of it, he really was not too much in terms of detail. So there are some issues that really do need to be addressed. Across the entire car there is a white haze just from washing the car and waxing it, and although that is helpful when you try to take care of the car, at the same time, if you're not careful, you will put in a bunch of damage into the paint, which is what happened here. Luckily though, it's all pretty easy to correct, so just your standard decontamination and then correction, and ceramic coating will be installed. So I've already done a little bit of a 50-50 from this middle line here going straight up. On the right hand side it has been corrected, whereas the left hand side has not yet been corrected. The entire car looks like the left hand side here, which is hazy, and there's just a ton of micro scratches in the surface. After a quick cut with microfiber cutting disc and M205 and my yellow buff and shine foam pad with M105, we're able to clean it up to this type of fantastic, beautiful reflective surface. We're gonna have the whole car looking like this before we hit the car with a couple coats of Nanolex Si3D. One part that always gives me a bit of trouble are these side mirrors. Now, that was always an issue for me before because I was always using a really big buffer with a really big pad. For example, even with my older Porter cable with a 5-inch pad, going around this huge surface area, it's not a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of curves and everything that are really hard to reach. So the solution is another tool. One that I recently picked up is a Rupes Hybrid Nano. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty expensive tool, but if you're detailing a lot, it's pretty useful. There's a ton of different attachments you can use, and even just the 1-inch pad with a 3mm orbital disc is gonna make really short work of this. So we can see we have a regular old speed dial, so I'm gonna set it to 2 to spread it in, and then I'm gonna kick it up to level 4 and do a correction on this side mirror. So just like your big buffer, you're going to be wanting to use the same type of techniques with a little guy like this. I'll try to keep your pad flat at all times, let the machine do the work, don't put too much force into it, you get the idea. But after just one pass, we can see how much this headlight is, this side mirror is really cleaning up. So like I said, if you're going to be detailing a lot, a smaller tool like this or a more specialty tool, even something like a something with a 3-inch pad is really useful for smaller areas like this. Highly recommend picking up a secondary tool to supplement your big 5-inch or 6.5-inch buffer that you probably have and are using for your everyday detailing. Something I'll do if I know the person really well and I know that they'll appreciate it is I will polish these rad supports and things like that if I see it. Especially if it has these clips like they're on this radiator and I trust the person, I know they trust me, I will remove them, clean up as much as I can, and then just give it a polish. Once again, with a proper tool, it's very, very easy. Just a quick zip, and it's looking better than factory. This front bumper has definitely seen some abuse. Not because the car was mistreated, but really just because of how low the car is and how many rocks get spit up into it. So the front bumper is chipped like to no tomorrow. So because of that, I'm not going to be using my big pad. Because if you look at this, this is the size of our average 5.5-5-inch pad. Oh, 6-inch pad. This is a 6-inch pad. So if you look at all these rock chips, to try to maneuver this around and not be picking up paint and peeling it every single place you go is really difficult. You're not going to be having a very good time with that. That's another time when a tool like this really comes in handy. So I'm going to be using it with the 2-inch polishing pad and the 8mm orbit. So when it spins around, you can see it's going to be pretty easy to navigate all the way around here. And since this is below the sight line, you don't really need to to have this at 100% defect removal. The owner knows it's not going to be perfect, but we'll do our best to really try to bring it back. Alright, so I'm just going to prime up the pad a bit and turn it down to a low speed and just spread it in. So the pad's getting pretty primed up. Add some more compound on. Let's go for it again. Pad's looking pretty good, so I'm going to be working through the entire front bumper using this just because of how beat up it is. Now that we got the paint looking beautiful, it is time to ceramic coat it. So first what we're going to do is give it an alcohol wipe down, and then we are going to give it a coating of Nanolux SI 3D, let it cure, and then follow it up with a coating of Nanolux SI Finish, which applies a lot like a spray wax. Since we're dealing with a panel line here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the door. That way I don't have to worry about any of the coating getting on the applicator, going on this side of the door that's already been done or anything. So all you have to really do is just open it. Make sure that there's no interior lights on. If there are, you may kill the battery by doing this. Always seal it back up. That way you can make sure that you save as much as possible. It's not evaporating on you. Before you keyboard warriors tell me that I'm wiping it off too quickly, know that Nanolex Si3D has a very different installation process than your general ceramic coating. So in general, for something like C-quartz, what you're going to do is you're going to put it on, let it flash for about 2 to 5 minutes, then wipe it off. But with this product, you're told to actually work it in until you can't see any more product, then you buff it off before it's able to dry. There is a large difference between this coatings application and the C-quartz's one. Not really sure which one ends up being the better product. However, keep in mind that not everything is the same. After 3 days of work, we are done with yet another S2000. This one had a full paint correction, although the front end still did get beat up a lot by rock chips and that type of thing. We did do the best we could with our polishing. We corrected it as much as we could. We installed a coat of Nanolex Si3D, which has a pretty unique installation process. Topped it off with Nanolex Si Finish and hit all the glass and lenses with a coat of Fictech car lift glass, which should keep it relatively nice and streak free and help to repel some water. So yeah, that's it. I mean, the car's looking fantastic now. Can't wait to get it outside. Thanks for joining me. Take care. See you in the next one.